In fact, last Tuesday, I met up with a colleague of mine, and we were sitting in somebody's house. This guy had bought this house in Notting Hill. It was a huge house, beautiful house. And he was doing some consulting for the house owner, who owned an art gallery. It wasn't an art gallery he owned, actually, he just owned lots of art. And we were just exploring for about an hour or so, as many different ways to creatively leverage the art. We came up with 35 different ways. Yeah. Yes. So what I was doing there was looking at ways to sell things in a different context and mapped it across to this particular context. Now, we don't know if any of them are going to work, but we're just experimenting. Yeah. So that's a very creative way of looking at taking something, blending it to something new, almost doing like a visual squash, and coming up with something completely new and completely original. I said I wasn't going to talk much. Sorry, I'm going to shut up because I got all excited about creativity.
I know. And I knew when you said earlier, oh, I'm not going to talk much. I went, yeah, right. Okay, so listening to Alessandro and Tina, I've been thinking more generically about peak performance. Whilst it's a phrase that genuinely used for sport, my thoughts are that it can be applied to any positive behavior. And you're right, it can. I wonder if you agree. Yes, I do. And how you apply the principles in other aspects of coaching. Well, everything that Alessandro was talking about doing with athletes and in sport, you can just change the context and you can use it for any kind of performance, whether it's to do with being on a stage, whether it is public speaking, training, it really doesn't matter because you just change the context.
You wait for me now.
We can, I mean, I think that's fairly self-explanatory, really.
It's interesting. I think the phrase peak performance, and again, it's a huge mind read, is it kind of sets an what's the phrase I'm looking for? It can presuppose a bit like the coaching wheel. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where people go, well, where are you at? Yeah, it's a 5 or a 7.
Yeah.
But what gets missed out with that is that really at the core of everything, if we're okay, it doesn't matter if we're at a 4 or a 5 on something. Yeah? So peak performance can sometimes imply that unless anyone's performing at this peak level, things aren't okay. Yeah. So I look at it in a slightly different way. I'm not looking for peak performance. I want to avoid mediocrity. Okay.
Of course you do.
It's Richard's fault, actually, because I remember reading this somewhere. I can't remember when, decades ago. He said, far too many people are mediocre. Avoid, be allergic to mediocrity. I went, I'm going to avoid mediocrity.
Okay.
But it means that I show up and I get engaged and I do whatever I do. And I'm fully present and I enjoy it to the best of my ability. And that's like a peak experience in that moment in time. So for me, that's my approach to peak performance. It's having the best experience I can at this moment in time. Not necessarily with an intention or an outcome, not always with an intention or an outcome, other than just to show up and be really present.
Yeah, I mean, that makes perfect sense to me. Although there's a part of me, that's my little but, although there's a part of me that always wants to be better next time.
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean that I'm aiming for huge heights, but if I'm delivering something, if I'm doing something, if I'm performing, then I always want to just do a little bit more next time.
I totally get that, and I agree with that. What I love to do is I go, yeah, I've shown up. Have I been really present? Have I done the best I can, included in the preparation? And if I show up and I do the best I can relax and actually enjoy whatever it is I'm doing. Yeah. And then I can take the feedback and see, well, now I've had the experience, is there a way that I can actually improve it
Mm.
and make it slightly better, make it easier, make it even more enjoyable? And that approach for me takes any pressure away.
Yeah.
Takes any pressure away. And it still means that I can grow and I can improve and I can evolve. But that growing and the evolving and the improving doesn't become the focus. The focus for me then is the being present and actually engaging and enjoying something.
Yeah.
For that peak experience.